Super Mario Party is one of the worst Mario Parties today. The party mode was one of the worst, and the side modes were subpar, and a bunch more just other stuff. But starting off with the boards. If you played Super Mario Party's boards and you thought that they felt familiar, well, you'd be correct, as all the boards are just knockoff or shit versions of previous boards. For example, Whomp's Domino's Ruins is just a knockoff of DK Jungle Adventure. King Bob-omb's Powder Cake Mine is just a knockoff of Waluigi's Island. Kamek's Tantalizing Tower is Pagoda Peak. The most original board is Mega Fruit Paradise, as that just draws parts from other boards, like the bridges from Bowser's Gnarly Party and the wooden bridge from Pirate Land, which is fine, taking parts from other boards, and if they wanted to reuse ideas, then that would have been fine, besides Whomp's Domino's Ruins as just a scaled down version of DK Jungle Adventure, if they just implemented them well, but they just don't, with the boards being smaller, meaning everyone gets to get everywhere easier, and with their dice block now being 6 not 10, but I'll get into why that's a problem later. Next up are the items. Displacing of the boards being small, as it's easier to get to items, and when boards are small and golden pipes are available for every player at all times for 10 coins, that just makes the boards scroll to Wiggler, get a golden pipe, and everyone could get them at the same cost at the same time. In previous parties like 2, first place couldn't buy Lucky Lamps, the game's equivalent to the golden pipe, as it was only for 3rd and 4th place players, because if first place got access to it, it would just make the chance of a 4th place comeback impossible, but it was balanced with first place not being able to purchase a Lucky Lamp, whilst in Super, first place could just buy golden pipes whenever he wants over and over again, which just makes the game way less fun to play. Another thing about the items is the lack of variety. You think that the item variety would be big in this game, but no, there's less items than there is in Mario Party 2, and the items that are in the game are severely neutered. Starting off with the mushroom, it only adds 3 spaces to your dice block and doesn't give you an extra dice. The poison mushroom is useless as always, gold mushroom adds 5 to your dice roll, Coinado steals 5 to 10 coins from one player, custom dice allows you to choose a number from 1 to 6, and gold pipe you go 1 space before the star. And that's it, that's all the buyable items. There's only 6 buyable items in this game. The rest are gone from item spaces, which is really dumb, as the items from the spaces are more fun, like the Peepa Bell, gets rid of a coin per space move for our enemy player. Or the Fly Guy ticket, steal an item. These items would be more fun to use, but they're exclusive to item spaces, so it's rare to see the more interesting items more than once a game because they're locked behind an item space. And if that wasn't bad enough, some items like the Peepa Bell, Gold Drink, Jewel Glove, Warp Box are only in Partner Party, which limits the already tiny item pool to near nothing in party mode. But the biggest problem in Super Mario Party is character dice. Character dice basically ruin the game's balancing because certain characters are objectively better than others. For example, Bowser is objectively one of the best characters, as his dice allows you to roll very high half the time. Another character is Peach, which 5 out of 6 times is a very positive result of a 4 or a 6. And another character is Wario, who most of the time will roll a 6. And a bunch more other characters, some of the worst characters being Donkey Kong, Koopa Troopa, Monty Mole, Daisy, Mario, and everyone else being average or good. This plays into the problem of small boards, as characters like Bowser and Boo can zip to golden pipes faster than anyone else, therefore get more stars and therefore win. This not only throws balancing out the window, but it's also just not as fun, as it's very lame to pick a character you wouldn't normally play as because that character gives you an advantage over the character that you would normally play as. Going off characters, it is clunky as shit to switch characters. If you want to play with a specific group of characters, like I do, for example, my main squad is Drybones, Wario, Luigi, Toad. You first have to find them, then you have to walk up to them, then you have to start an interaction with them, then you can finally swap them with a character you want to swap them with. And this is 100 times more annoying when the character is not there, and it just makes it 100 times more annoying to swap characters in your party. Another thing with the characters is the allies. This basically makes the main strategy in the game to land on the ally space, and you'll get an extra 1 or 2 dice movements and zip through the small board, and there's also an ally phone that's available in every mode. But that ain't the worst part. The worst part is ally minigames. There's a few minigames where your allies play in that gives the person who has a bunch of allies an unfair advantage, and there's also a goddamn bonus star for allies. The last big thing I'll talk about is the side modes. They're fun for like the first 5 minutes you play them, like River Survival and the Music Room, are fun for a bit, but they're the same set of minigames that you play each time, so there's not much variety that will make it replayable. Also, the story mode is just playing every minigame, which barely classifies as a story mode. Now onto some minor things that I didn't like but were too small for their own segment. Starting things off is the minigame coins. With everything being half price, you'd think that you would get half coins, but nope, you get 8. And if you win a 2v2 or a 1v3, you can get 10 coins, which just lopsides the economy of this game even more, which is already poor due to the fact of number 2, pity coins. This plays into the bad economy. Number 3 is the duel minigames being very lame, as it's just like one of 3 5-second minigames that aren't that fun. And the last is the clap. This gives the 3 in 1v3 minigames an extra 2 coins, aka 10 coins, while first place gets nothing. They don't get the clap, they don't get an extra 2 coins for winning, only the 3 get an extra bonus for being on a team. Now onto some things that I find meh, and there's only one thing, and that's Partner Party. I personally think that this is an okay mode. It would have been cool if you can play it in free-for-all, but it was fine, and exploring the boards was fine, the bigger item variety, the higher rolls making sense here, because the boards are bigger, in a sense, and landing on item spaces was easier, so the item variety in this mode was greater, and because landing on the shop space is pretty rare, gold pipes were rarely abused. It honestly feels like Partner Party was originally meant to be the game, but they added a similar style of MP to the classic ones later in development. But I'm just talking out of speculation mode and I'm just guessing. Now to the things that I did like. Firstly, the character roster. I would say it's a bit excessive with characters like Pom Pom and Diddy, but it's a good roster nonetheless. Next thing, the minigames. Not much of an accomplishment as every Mario Party has great minigames, but anyways, it's a point. But the last thing is small, but unlucky spaces. These were a perfect counterbalance to lucky spaces and were more often worse in effect to lucky spaces. And it does sort of help the economy situation, and it sort of makes me surprised that Superstars didn't have them. So, congrats Super Mario Party, you did good there. But with that being said, that's why I believe Super Mario Party is bad. If you disagree, let me know why. Also, like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later.